Hello, and welcome to Building Naboo Part 3. Today we're going to be looking at the rest of the MOC. It feels a little quick, but I do like doing this new format. It's given me a lot more time to make, I feel, better content as well as a better mock to be able to put that all together first and then present it. I think that's the way I want to do this going forward. But as you can see right now, you're looking at the top part of the mock, and we've already seen that. And so, yes, I did refer to that as the top part, and so we have a bottom part. And the bottom part was mainly included for the purpose of having a hangar to dock the N1 starfighter from part 2. So, if we go ahead and just take a look down, then we can go ahead and see the rest of the MOC. So, as you can see, it is quite big. The base of the MOC is 66 studs by 66 studs. It's a big square. I initially started out smaller because brick slopes, you have to check out space for your MOC in, I believe it's 32 by 32 base plate sizes. And so I started off with that, just doing, I think it was 2, and then I added the border, and so that gave us the stud total that we've got here. I quite like how this turned out, and as you can see, there are 2 main sides here. So we'll refer to this as the hangar side, and we'll refer to this as the waterfall side, as those are their respective highlighted features. So let's go ahead and we'll start off with the simpler side, which is the waterfall side. Right here at the base of the MOC, I added in a frame to go all the way around. I thought that would look a bit more professional, and then because I had leftover pieces from the Sand Green Sanctuary, I decided to title it Naboo on each side. I kind of hope it would be easy for people to see and tell that it was Naboo, but I figured I might as well make it definitive and build that into the MOC. And as you can see from the waterfall here, and we'll actually angle up so that you can see the water as well. So here is the top, actually, where you can see we're coming down from the Vader fountain, and then that's where the waterfall starts. But if we go ahead and angle down, you can see the edge of the MOC as well as the water and the waterfall. I wanted to use a different technique than what I had used on the Sand Green Sanctuary, and so I used a bunch of quarter tiles from the different dots halls, the different blues, as well as a lot of white studs, and then I put trans blue tiles on top of them. So I think it gives it a bit of a more shallow feeling, whereas the Sand Green Sanctuary gives a lot more depth to the water. While also, I don't think that this completely gets rid of any depth. I think it gives it a good amount. I'd say the only part that I'm like not super happy about and may end up changing is the bottom of the waterfall. I did add some trans medium blue there at the base to try and give it a bit of a different color or different look. But I'm not super happy with that and may end up seeing what I can't do to make that feel more real, more like the water is crashing down right there. Moving over here to the side, you can see uh, my attempt at making one of the cows from episode 2. I think it turned out fine. The head is probably where I'm the least satisfied with. However, I think it's good enough. I may try if I get certain pieces. I may try and go back and change the head, but I think it looks alright for now. I think you could very well just interpret it as another creature of Naboo. Um, I did also add in a lot of these pink frogs onto the MOC, um, just to try and incorporate frogs. Yes, I know, but also to try and incorporate some odd colored animals, and you'll see that more on the hangar side. Which, speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at the hangar side. So, here we have the hangar side, and as you can see, I also added the Naboo title there at the bottom. I've also got the Imperial Naboo Security Force Swamp Speeder there down at the bottom. Now, you can see that behind the Swamp Speeder, I tried to add in a little ripple wave effect. I'm not sure. I guess it's called a wave, right? Because that's the crest of the wave. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really do a whole lot of boating, so if you know what that's properly called, please let me know. But I tried to do that. I did it in trans clear. I think that looks pretty good, but it is something that I could consider changing up. So over on the waterfall side of the MOC, I mentioned wanting to include some more oddly colored animals, and I happened to find this blue Lego rabbit, so I put it there because I thought that would accomplish that goal quite well. When building this cliffside, I initially thought that I was going to be able to, with relative ease, um, slope all the way up. However, I found that I ran out of space quite quickly. I designed the top part of the MOC first, and then the bottom second. I know that seems counterintuitive, and it was a little bit, but I think I made it work. I ended up to compensate for having to go so far up so quickly. Um, I used a lot of the green 1x2 curved slope piece, um, and I was able to just sort of plug those into the headlight brick, um, and I think that worked pretty well. I think it looks sort of like grass hanging off of a cliffside, um, and so I'm pretty satisfied with how that came out. You can see we've got a shadow trooper, and he's coming down from the railing or going up. I suppose it depends on how you look at it. But then if we take a look here at the hangar, you can see that it is quite dark. I am shining a light at the back of the hangar just to add some light in there. And I think I may end up adding some form of lighting to the inside just so that it's not as dark when people are looking at it in person. But I'll have to mess around with it and see. For now, we'll go ahead and take a look at the details that are here. That mainly being I added in a couple more of the lights from the Complete Saga. I thought those builds worked well, and they were fairly easy to incorporate there. Then I also used some spring-loaded shooters to create sort of this door design. The idea being that that's an open blast door and that it could close. I also used some of these groove pieces for the trench there that the N1 Starfighter comes down. And those were actually, I think they're rail pieces from Lego Train, but I'm not entirely certain. I just know that they are the last one of the parts that I got in bulk at Brick Slopes 2022, and I didn't find a place to use them on the Sand Green Sanctuary, and so I was able to incorporate them quite well here, and I think it creates a pretty neat design. As well as I used a lot of those glow-in-the-dark 1x1 tiles from the first Dots Hall to sort of create, trying to think what they're called, runway lights, I suppose. On each side, each of the doors has little paneling, just sort of to show ways to open the doors. And then you can see that the Imperial Gonk droid has unfortunately been taken as a casualty in the battle. But we've got a Death Trooper and a Shadow Trooper, and they're fighting more rebels, and now feels like a good time to go ahead and take a look at the interior of the hangar. So, taking the top layer off, you can kind of see some of the interior detailing, at least between the two levels, and you can see right there the big panel of neon yellow pieces that from the interior lights up the hangar. Using the black light on the neon yellow bricks up above right there in the hangar, it sort of shines down and illuminates everything a bit better, though it does make it look awfully yellowish green, I suppose. But I think it looks neat, and I think definitely during the night show that'll be a really neat feature for people to stop by and look at. So, removing that layer, you can see more into the inside, and you can see the N1 Starfighter right there, and we've got a couple Imperials in the back there. One of them is in not so good shape. The other guy is trying to fight from behind some boxes. Along this wall, I wanted to do something a little more special. I know it's not a detail that many people would see, but I figured it would be a fun detail to put in anyways, and so what I've included is a wall of statues, and they're all made from monochrome minifigure parts, and so we've got uh, the Imperial Guard, um, minus the black head. He's got a red sword, and then we've got Watto using some of the longer avatar arms because they're the same color. Um, and then a Gamorrean guard and a Gungan, Geonosian, one of the original Geonosians in old dark gray. And then on that side there, you've got I forget the name of the species. Tigrutin? I think it's a Tigrutin. But I've got the young Ahsoka piece, but it's all in white. It didn't have any printing on it. And I've put in a Nexo Knight statue head that was also in white. Um, and then on the other side here, he's a bit more difficult to see. But you can see I've got the original General Grievous head on a white statue using the chicken arms from whatever CMF series that was. And you can also see from this angle that I used quite a few pillar pieces, and these pillar pieces are the only system brick that I know of being a marbled piece. I know there are quite a few Bionicle pieces that are marbled, but as far as I know, at least in retail release, because there are prototype marbled 2x4s, which I would really love to own one day. But these were officially released in a Belleville set, I believe. And so I got a whole bunch of them. And I thought the marbled design would give a cool sort of texture and look to the build that you might not capture with standard bricks. So you can see here on this side that we've got many rebel troopers coming in from this side. Of note would be the Geonosian rebel trooper there. And he's got, which is a little difficult to see, but you can see I used some trans neon green dish pieces to emulate the sonic cannon fire or blast. And then, we've got over here, we've got the spider, of course. Always good to have a random spider. Another one of the Buzz Lightyear troopers. And many different assortments of rebels and Endor and clone trooper armor, Alderaan armor, as well as some boxes and such. In the corner here, you can see the A Rebel Astromech, along with, if we look in between these pillars, you can see a Rebel pilot. They were the B crew, in case the A crew didn't get there, but it looks like, fortunate for them, that the A crew did make it into the N1 Starfighter. And that's about it for this MOC. So we'll put it all back together and go over some final thoughts. So, taking a final look here at the overall MOC, I would say that I'm very satisfied with how it came out. It took quite a bit of tinkering around to make it stable, but overall I can move it, and I think I can get it to brick slopes, hopefully, and I look forward to having people take a look at it, and I think it came out really well. Overall, I'm really satisfied with it. Of course, there will be little tinkerings and stuff that I do, but I think the only other real content that you can expect out of this Naboo MOC is a short little, no narration, just sort of quick shots of different aspects of the MOC, probably right before Brick Slopes, which is surprisingly coming up. It doesn't quite feel like it's been a year since the last Brick Slopes, but evidently we're getting pretty close. And yeah, I think that's really about it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this sort of new format for the MOC series. And I really hope that worked out well. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. So, bye-bye.